Abundance and gratitude to my followers. This is your spiritual investigator, your beautiful spirit warrior. And I just have a few things that have been on my mind for a while. I've been getting downloads these last couple weeks, and I haven't put out a post because it was more so of clarity. And the thing about that is that the last post that I made was Divine Feminine, live boldly within thyself and project that energy outward. And I just want to say to all the divine feminists out there that all that you do and all that you are, being the woman of humanity, is a very, very big thing. And people try to downplay us to make it seem like we're not important when we are the key to everything. And the thing about that is that a divine feminine doesn't want an emotional avoidant. A divine feminine is not attracted to someone who cannot confront their darkest skeletons in their closet. A divine feminine requires and desires reciprocation on all levels of emotion and connection. And the thing about that is that divine feminine, we have been through awful things, and we belong where we are right now. Every move that you made, divine feminine, has been by design. It was no coincidence. And the people who crossed you, and I myself, they are starting to learn now that when they met you, it was not a coincidence, that they had a lesson to learn, that they had a duty to uphold, and they did not do it. And because they did not fulfill the duties in which they were supposed to fulfill, the lessons that they were supposed to learn, they became an evil energy and decided that trying to put you in your place was what they were supposed to do. The thing about that is that they were never meant to put us in our place, that we were always meant for greatness, and that all things that we do are because we are the leaders of humanity, and because we have that energy that we embody from the mothers before us, that we intimidate low vibrational masculines who cannot grow, who do not want to desire more out of life. But because their egos are running their lives, and at every woman and every move that they are making against us, they felt like they were supposed to put us in our place, but failed to realize that we know our place as divine feminine women. Our feminine energy has been tampered with because we have been put in masculine's position. And because we have been put in a masculine position, we are the first to know and learn balance between the masculine energy and the feminine energy. And when we started to love ourselves, started to choose ourselves, the egos of these low vibrational masculines and their karmic wives, girlfriends, and associates decided that they wanted to take advantage of our kindness because they looked at us as being weak. But having unconditional love in your heart, propelling the energy from your soul, magnetically attracting everything that you desire and require in your life, is not a weakness. It is our greatest strength. To be nurturing is a strength. To create is a gift. To be able to build a dynasty is within our right. We have always been who we desire to be, and every new day that comes into pass, we grow on each new day, and we come into ourselves and we understand that we are better than we were the day before. So for the individuals that lied on our health and said that we had incurable diseases just to stop us from growing, for the ones who decided that they wanted to decide our future and run it, or they wanted to be in control of our lives, they are now feeling the silence of our divine feminine energy. The reconciliations that may be possible with certain individuals in certain situations, divine feminines, you know which one you may be reconsidering. But I'm going to just say this on my part. I have decided not to reconciliate with not one person that I crossed paths with, because they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew the games that they were playing, and they knew exactly what type of plots and plans and smear campaigns they were putting out on a lot of us, including myself. But my growth has shown me that I didn't have to embody that energy, because I know who I am. I am a diamond in the rough, and so are you, divine feminine. And our shine is magnetic. And what we desire and what we require and what we ask for has never been a lot or too much. What we ask for and what we desire in our lives has always been what we deserved, and nothing less and nothing short. And the thing about that is that because we have been walking this path, and a lot of us have been walking this path alone, only because we have enemies from a past life that have been a past interference in our path, trying to stop us from building, creating, and being and loving ourselves. And the thing about that is that they could never stop something that is designed for us. Individually, we have walked through this earth plane, and we have seen and experienced so many different things. This is why the divine feminine embodies the wisdom. And we use that wisdom of all the things that we've been through with individuals, including situations in which we never expected to be in a situation in which someone would secretly put you in a third party like you were an option. You have always been the first draft pick on all levels. These individuals knew this, but they decided, they made a choice. And when you make a choice, that's when you're an adult. People always holler that they're grown, and when you're grown, you make a choice. When you're a child, you make a mistake. You grow from that mistake. We are not children. There is no woe it's me. No one wants to hear about the sad stories from these karmics that they are clearly developing in their mind. Their neural cortex is so underdeveloped that they feel like that we are supposed to accept them back. Just like that. That we're supposed to forget about everything that they've done. Every plot, every plan, every smear campaign. They have it in their mind that they are supposed to be forgiven and all is well, and they're supposed to just move on with us. But that is not happening in this season. The year of the snake is ending. The year of the horse is coming into play. Year one is in the now and is coming quickly and fast at post haste. And everything that we've done, every tear that we've dropped, every time we had to coddle our children and tell our children that we were going to be okay, or our children coddling us as they see that we are trying to navigate through a situation in which we did not ask for, in which we actually separated ourselves from. And these karmics decided that they wanted to go out here on these streets and politics and tell false truths about us and tell lies that they are still dealing with us. We're still speaking. Oh yeah, she dealt with me too. She did this, she did that. Or Oh yeah, you know, she got this and got that. That's why she doing this. Or she's loose. And they knew for a fact that you wasn't loose, because if you were so loose, divine feminine, why the fuck are they behind us trying to chase behind us now? Why are they so ate the fuck up about what they've done to us? Why are they feeling like woe is me? Why are they embodying the guilt? Why are they so adamant about trying to get back in your energy when they are the ones that are walking around with HIV, herpes, syphilis, and neurological permanent problems that they actually embodied and inherited, not just through the drugs that they were embodying and ingesting, but also the mental anguish that comes from their fathers. Because I learned genetically when I went to medical school that a lot of mental illness, it comes from the male gene. It does not come from the feminine. It comes from the masculine genetic makeup. And the thing about that is that when a masculine doesn't have a good relationship with his mother, or he's seeking validation from her because he came from her karmic wound, he spends all his time trying to downplay a true divine feminine by trying to impress his karmic mother and his karmic entourage. And the thing about that is that it's so completely disgusting. I have been sitting on this information and I've been ingesting these thoughts of mine that I have been receiving from the divine and from source, which is the divine. But the divine is masculine and feminine energy. It is the alpha and the omega. And the thing about that is that divine feminine, we learned a long time ago, we don't need to wait on anyone to stop the show. Because one monkey or two or many don't stop our show. It doesn't stop our growth. This is exactly why genetically the woman, the wound man, is more advanced than the masculine. This is why behind every great man is a great woman. And beside every great woman is a conscious man. A vessel that reciprocates the same energy. The same energy in which he embodies, and together they shine and they build and create a dynasty, give birth to nations, move mountains, change minds, elevate souls. We are not who they say that we were in the first place. And because they knew that we were not affected by that type of negative energy, what they decided to do was they decided that they wanted to go and get spell work done. They decided they wanted to bury us in the graveyard, the crossroads. They decided they wanted to go to practitioners and get with dark cultic groups and covens. And they wanted to get together and do spell work. But now at this time, it is now time for them to feel the same thing they wanted us to feel, the same death they sent to us. They are going to feel it to the end. They are going to embody it to the end. And I remember a while back on my TikTok page, I remember putting out a post specifying that someone that worked in the medical field decided that they wanted to go and alter your information on a medical level and change and put in results that never existed. And they actually broke HIPAA law. And the thing about that is that they knew they were lying in the first place, and they go on the fuck to jail for lying about your health status and mine, divine feminine. They are going to get the same thing that they wanted to give to you. They're going to get it back. And I'm not going to say 100 fold. I'm going to say one quadruple quadrillion fold. Because they wanted us to be homeless. They wanted to run us from our gifts. They wanted to separate us from our ancestors and from the divine. They wanted us to give up on ourselves. They wanted us to not continue to grow. They wanted to use beauty magic to take our beauty away. They wanted us to look like how they feel. And the thing about that is that's a clear deflection of who they are mind, body, and soul. And a soulless being and a hurt person will go to the ends of their being, every whim, to make you feel or to show other people as a deflection from them that they are what they said you were. Now we're at a time right now where in a lot of situations where there was danger, where there was weapons involved, where there was gang stalking, where there was manipulation, where there was interference with your personal life, people are now understanding right now at this point that there will be no reconciliations. There will be no I'm sorry. Yes, you are sorry. You're a sorry motherfucker. And you knew exactly what you were doing. And because your ego was all but hurt, you decided that you wanted to decide the divine feminine's fate. You wanted her fate to be the fate in which you felt deep within your soulless self. And that's okay. Because the divine feminine doesn't hate her enemies. She gives abundance and gratitude to all her enemies, known and unknown, because they allowed her to level up and grow and see things in a different perspective. Not in a perspective in which she would just run back or be so forgiving to those who do not deserve her forgiveness, but she's learned to forgive herself and walk in grace and also give herself grace and continue to be in her softness. The things in which we have experienced in all different levels and characteristics. The enemies in which they came into our lives, family, foe, both, and all work together to create an illusion of a demise that was never going to occur or happen. In a lot of cases, in 99.9% of these cases in which I am speaking of, they have no idea that everything is energy. Energy is currency. And when energy is currency and you send that energy out, it comes right back to home base in which it has started. So for everyone that decided that they wanted to decide our future and who we should talk to, and the karmic masculines that thought that they had a chance in our environment, if they scared us enough, if they intimidated us enough, if they tried to drive us crazy enough, that we would just give in and just run back to a dangerous situation, to uncommon ground, to sour soil. That was never going to happen. We never chase, we always attract. Our fate is in our control. And everything that we desire and what desires us, we attract. Every inch of us is so delicate and soft and delicate, but also tough, and the strongest on the spiritual battlefield, the strongest on the mental field, the strongest on the physical battlefield, the strongest in the intellectual battlefield, the strongest on the dynasty battlefield. We are everything, and we deserve exactly what we want. And what we don't want is what's eating these karmic motherfuckers up. This is an inspiration for all of my divine feminines and divine masculines. If you have experienced these situations with karmic feminines, but my channel is mainly for divine feminine, because the support that we desire and requires us to reciprocate the same energy through time and space, to ascend to higher levels of consciousness, because we are the key to all, and the all is us. And the thing about that is that a lot of us that have experienced such tragic situations, for the ones who
felt alone, like I felt sometimes myself in situations in which I had to go through and walk through by myself. I always reminded myself that my ancestors were walking with me, that source and my Christ consciousness was guiding me through the shadow of death. As my enemies were stacked up on the left and the right side of me, they shall fall on the left and the right side. And because I am her story is being told in the now. Her crown has always been properly placed. Her throne, she never stepped off. She never stepped down from her place in this realm. She would never step down off of her throne ever. And because we never stepped down off of our throne, it affected people in such a way that they felt as though that they had to do something tragic to us. Something so heinous, so cruel. And now they're seeking forgiveness. Confirmation, Bert. But there will be no forgiveness. For we have gotten closure alone. For we forgive ourselves and our enemies known and unknown, and we do not have to explain, nor do we have to speak to those enemies, and they know this. They are understanding now that everything that they did was to the detriment of themselves. And in a lot of cases, the detriment in which they wished and embodied and had the heinous and cruel thoughts and the death thoughts are now their manifestation. A lot of these individuals that lied on our health are walking around with full-blown AIDS right now, Divine Feminine. The ones who said that we were loose and that we were thoughts and that we were not worthy of a connection in which we were supposed to be treated so delicately, that we were supposed to be put in a pampering situation in which we could bask in our divine feminine energy and continue to grow and prosper throughout life, and also teach our daughters that you are more than enough, that your beauty is way beyond what you look like, but your beauty comes from your soul. Your magnetic energy and the beauty within our souls has been a light beacon to the tunnel that is filled with so much darkness, that even through the trials and tribulations that they thought that they could conquer us, they never won, and they will never win. And these tears that I am crying are tears of joy and dedication to the truth, to the grace, and to our soft, unbreakable energy. We are desirable in every way, and no one can take that from us. No one can take who you are away from you except for you, and we understand that, Divine Feminine. We know that we are a walking inspiration for little goddesses that are growing and walking beside us, known and unknown. And as we walk hand in hand together, Divine Feminines, we are pulling all of our energy back, and we will never, ever, in our soul, in our reality, we value ourselves in so many ways that we will never allow anyone to take our strength, our power, and our bodies away from us. A lot of these karmic masculines felt as though that our holy grail was up for grabs for anyone, and they could just devour us in a sexual way, in which they thought that just because they were masculine, that they could take our feminine energy from us, our bodies from us, our thoughts from us, our drive from us. But they never had that power because they had to come through our portal to get into this reality. And they have forgotten where the fuck they came from. And they are now being reminded that you came from woman. You didn't come from man. You came from the womb of the woman. And now they want you to reciprocate and feel sorry for them. But we will no longer feel sorry for individuals who are trying to use guilt, who are trying to use emotions and incompetent tactics against us. And the thing about that is that they really believed. And to believe means to belie in etymology, which means you don't know. And in that, which itself speaks of incompetence, it speaks of a remedial mindset, a remedial undeveloped brain, a damaged, unhealed soul that sold themselves out for clout. They sold their souls out for money. They sold their soul for an image that was an illusion the whole time. And a lot of these karmic masculines are homeless and have been homeless since their young adolescence, when they were kicked out by their karmic mothers who never loved them because they didn't love themselves. They never wanted good for their sons because they never experienced an unconditional love that would treat them the way they're supposed to be treated. They desired to destroy their sons. This is exactly why you see a lot of mothers that are karmic coddling their sons, standing up for their sons when their sons are murderers, standing up at the podium at their funeral saying that he was a good boy, standing in the interference of their growth on all levels, consciousness, mentally, emotionally, and financially. These karmic mothers have taught their sons to try to chew up and devour the divine feminine and to use her as a crutch and as a provider. And this is where the fuck they went wrong at. The thing about that is that for these karmic mothers and karmic fathers in some cases, they are now reaping everything that they've cursed their children with. And because their children are now grown, they have now cursed themselves and their bloodlines. There will be no more children born by a divine feminine from a karmic masculine, and vice versa. For any karmic that gets pregnant or gets anyone pregnant, those children will not make it through because they are not meant to come through that tarnished, hexed, cursed bloodlines in which they body and which is running through their DEA. Our DEA upgrades have already started. The wisdom in which we embody, the thought, and to have thought means that you know what you know. No one can tell you nothing. And because we embody this, sensational wisdom deep down within, no one can tell us what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. For we are every woman before us, and the ancestors that did not make it through, the things that we made it through, divine feminine, divine masculine, we know that we were chosen. We know that the ancestor chose right. For they stand with us through all trial and tribulations. For the jail cells that they wanted to throw us in, they are now being thrown in the jail cells. For the gang stalking and the private investigators that started to gang stalk us and started their investigations on us, they are now and have been for quite some time investigating these individuals for the false paperwork where your names and my name was forged, for the false connections in which people said that we had with them and we've never fucking met them, for the fraud that was done in our name, for the false social media and dark web pages that were created, back pages that were created using AI. They are now and have been tracked, not just energetically, but just know that everything leaves a trail. And no matter how many emails these individuals created to make fake and false pages, to follow us, to hack us, to try to stalk us, everything has an electronic fingerprint and footprint. And no matter what individuals do, everything has been traced right back to them. So as we respect ourselves, everything we decide to do and that we decide to go forth in our prosperous path and journey, they gotta put some fucking respect on our fucking names. Please like, share, and subscribe to my page for a matriarchy is being recreated. Stand in your power, know thyself, and continue forth. And for every tear that we drop, for every emotion that we feel, it is not to feel sorry for ourselves. It is the strength of which we embody and have embodied since the beginning of time. And we are going to continue to build on our matriarchies, our dynasties. Abundance and gratitude to all who have listened to this transmission. For we are walking a journey that is what we chose on our spiritual contract. Choosing ourselves was the best decision that we've ever made in our lives. And stand strong, my divine feminine. For we are who we are, and it's undeniable. For our souls were so soft and delicate that those individuals didn't even care about our children or their children, in which some of us had, when they decided to do these cruel things. But we are whole within thyself. Continue to be the goddess that you are.